Here.
I think we have some background noise from Committee Person Bell. So, all right. Under the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, notice of the time and place of this meeting has been posted and sent to the officially designated newspapers. This meeting is being held virtually by webcast and simulcast on Comcast Cable Channel 29. Donato, would you lead us in the salute to the flag, please?
Certainly. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so the first item on the agenda is a COVID-19 update. And who do we have today doing that? Oh, Devangi is going to give us our update. So welcome. Thank you, Devangi.
Sure, thank you. Good evening, everyone. So COVID-19 updates for today. We are seeing
pitch like he did in Houston that night. He absolutely can win it. We will see how it goes. The NL Cy Young is pretty much done. I'm sorry. This is just like Ohtani. As long as DeGrom doesn't get hurt, he's going to win the award. I mean, a guy being minus 1,000.
Going, full sail ahead with vaccinations. We want to do increased messaging to parents to remind them to vaccinate their children who are 12 and over before school starts. So we want to ensure that their children are fully vaccinated by the first day of school. And also we would like to remind college students who will be returning back to campus, and more students will be participating in in-person instruction on college campuses as well, to remind them to get their vaccines. We have a pop-up clinic scheduled tomorrow by the Montgomery Dog Park, by the playground there, and as well as a clinic this Saturday at the Otto Kaufman Community Center from 9 to noon. I think that's it for me.
The one thing I would add, Devangi, is to remind people that the first shot has to be taken before the end of the month of July, so that you can get your second shot prior to the beginning of school, and you have the time frame to develop your immunity.
Correct. Yes.
So oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So as Donato was saying, you really, for parents of children 12 and up, you really want to plan for that 5-week period, because that's how long it will take to get them fully vaccinated.
Has the school district mandated that students who are over 12 have the vaccine? What's the status of that?
I haven't heard of mandating vaccinations. I know many agencies are trying to avoid having to mandate and use social norming and peer pressure to get vaccinated, and for the most part that is working. And in terms of getting and reaching people that haven't been vaccinated yet, it's not that they're anti-vaxxers, it's more that they are believing some of the misinformation that's out there that can easily be addressed.
As it relates to, the effects of the COVID vaccine, as it relates to
Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson. So we encourage people, even if you're not sure, to call us or to call your healthcare provider, because having that conversation really helps.
Any idea what the current percentage of Montgomery residents who are eligible to be vaccinated have actually gotten it?
For adults, we are estimating in Montgomery Township about 91% of adults, which is good. And as for children 12 and up, the number we estimate is around between 55 and 60%. So there are a lot of parents out there who do want to get their children vaccinated. However, with everything reopening, they think that having plans for family gatherings or family celebrations and other celebrations will impact or impede on their ability to attend the events if their children are developing effects from the vaccine. But the message to the parents is, most children are fine after the vaccine. Sometimes the cases are able to recover. If the immune system is, your body's going to I'm gonna get mine. Don't do it hard, we can't do this. Don't stop it. You're all down. When it's all in my face, we know that the benefits of the vaccine outweigh the risks of COVID-19.
done for the last, well, year and 3 months, 4 months, whatever it's been. So thank you again. All right, the next item on our agenda is a departmental report. As we announced at the last meeting, what we are going to be doing is at the second meeting of each month, because we have 2 meetings, we're going to have a different department present on what's happening within their world. And then we're also going to produce the meeting reports and subcommittee reports from each of the township committee members. So the first meeting we'll be having this meeting, and kick off our departmental reports. We'll have the engineering department, and we have our municipal engineer, Gabrielle Smith.
Good evening, everyone. How are you?
Hello. Good evening.
So I have, I'll just go over a lot of the projects we've been working on and some of the other things we've been working on. I'll start with our capital project. The 2021 local aid project, but we have out bid right now the Bridge Point area improvement project. This is Daytree Run Road, Blue Village, not the easternmost end out to River Road, out to Mill Pond, and also includes Mill Pond Road. This is, like I said, our local aid project. We have a $300,000 grant from local aid for this project. The bid opening was set for July 28th. And this was, we had to get state historic approval for this project, so that was kind of a bit wider to get through by the did, no problem. But so we're very happy to get through that. Get approved by DOT with our plan to get it out there. And then on the agenda for tonight is our award of our 221 roads project, which includes Edward Drive, Austin Place, Bruce Lane, Lakewood Court, Wilshire Drive, and also Cherry Valley Road, and sidewalk work in the Yorkshire with a
that was a really nice project to get that done, and hope everybody's happy with it. And then we finished up in April, we finished up our 2020 roads project that had started in the fall. We finished it up this spring, and that was Black Horse Run, Carriage Trail, Cheston Court, Red Oak Way, portion of Red Oak Way, and Wiggins Lane. And that was complete by Top Line Construction. at the end of April. We also recently awarded the boardwalk rehabilitation project. This is another project we're working with Lauren on to rehabilitate the Mill Pond Boardwalk that has been closed for about a year. We're basically replacing about a third of that boardwalk, the worst areas of that boardwalk, to get it up and running, and doing other miscellaneous repairs. The contractor is in the process of procuring all of the materials. He's having a little trouble.
All right, this is very boring. We are in Montgomery at the Montgomery Council meeting, but this is an official I&E podcast, so we are calling our friends from last night in Wall, Keith and Lincoln, two amazing activists that went down to Wall Township to protest the voting no against cannabis dispensaries in Wall, and it was crazy. So we're going to call Keith, but I think public comment for Montgomery is starting right now. So hang on a second.
On is the extension of the Skillman Road pathway out to the Otto Kaufman. That's with our consultant for design and permitting work. At this point, they're just getting ready and preparing the alignment and getting ready to submit permit applications to the state. And another thing that's on the agenda
the
tonight
public comment is actually next.
We recently submitted our application for 2022 local aid, and our application was for the easternmost section of Orchard Road in the area of the new municipal building. We thought this would be nice to get that road paved and try to coincide as much as possible with the opening of the new municipal building.
I don't know if they made a decision on this yet. They were discussing cannabis in Montgomery, but I don't think they made a decision. Does anyone know?
Municipal complex entrance roads over across 206 to the Bridgepoint area, opening up all of those neighborhoods on the east side of 206 to enable them to potentially walk to the new municipal complex. And then also, I know we've heard from some of the residents out at Cherry Brook Road. We would like to get a consultant to help us out with the plans for the Cherry Brook Road project. And that is also on the agenda for your approval tonight. And other things that we've been working on are the municipal building inspection work, the site work. We have been doing the inspection for the site work out there. For now, most of the site work is just about complete until they're ready to finish things up towards the end of the project. All the sewer lines in, storm sewers, curb work, base course paving, it's all in. So they'll finish up the building and then do top course paving, and we'll be out there again. We've been working on a number of development projects, where the most active projects have been Montgomery Crossing, Village Walk, Country Club Meadows, Chase Bank that just got its CO, Goddard School that's just about to get its CO, Pearl that got its CO a couple months ago, and also Gibraltar Rock that is has just finishing up its stone washing setup that we were up there a couple weeks ago, Deputy Mayor. So we've been very busy. Other things that we've been working on, a lot of permit activity. People are doing a lot of work on pools, additions, decks, and that all comes through our office for review. We have also been working with Lori Savron, the planning department, on our, she received that grant from Sustainable New Jersey to do a study on upgrading the retrofitting old basins to make them so they have better water quality treatment features, more green infrastructure features, and we've been working with her on that. We're going to get a consultant for that. We had an intern from Raritan Valley through its service learning program, and this young man did a great job. He helped us out creating a spreadsheet to list all the potential basins where we could potentially do these basin retrofits, and listing all columns for all the features, and trying to prioritize which basins
would be the best candidates for potential retrofit. So he did a great job at that. And other things that we've been working on are our annual stormwater reporting requirements. We also, one of our chief engineering aide, Ben Morales, unfortunately resigned, and so we're looking for his replacement. And all our typical responding to concerns and OPA requests, and we've been very, very busy. So that's my summary of what we've been up to, if anybody has any questions.
Do any of the committee members have any questions for Gail?
I do.
Okay, Ken.
Gail, thanks for that update and the overview of everything that's going on. So as I listen, I'm wondering, do you guys even go home? But I guess my question has to do with the road improvement project process, not the actual paving of the roads, but so kind of 50,000 foot, kind of overview of how do you determine what roads are going to be on the list for road improvement, the following year or year, or how do you prioritize the various roads?
All right, they're not talking about anything important right now. We went to Wall last night and pretty much blew them out of the water. They didn't expect some people coming in, and we had a group of people there last night that really stirred it up.
Sure. Well,
And I pointed at the one councilman, and he couldn't take it. Like, I have a trigger finger. Like, I pointed at him, and he was triggered. It was really like, dude, you're a council person. Where's your dignity? There's no give and take in the public comment. Where's your dignity? Why are you freaking out? Just sit there and let me speak my 5 minutes. You got to speak to your whole council meeting. I get 5 minutes. Why are you interrupting me? What, did I hit a nerve? I pointed at the right guy because apparently he works with vets, and I called him out for not helping disabled vets. For 14 months, they helped out able-bodied people with these virtual meetings. Things that disabled vets have been asking for years, they gave to healthy people. Disabled vets, people with cancer, people with multiple sclerosis have been asking for online meetings, online church, online work, online council, online school. And they got all those things for healthy people. And now that they're going back to these on-site meetings, the disabled vets go back under their rocks. And I called the councilman out on that. I pointed at him. I said, you don't care about the vets. And he was just like, When you say a Republican doesn't care about the vets, they lose their mind. It's almost as bad as calling them a commie. Hold on.
Or something like that. We're going to prioritize that over.
So, yeah, I'm going to call Keith in about it. As soon as I do my public comment here, we're going to talk about the public comment in Wall last night. And I felt like I was talking to a wall.
We think about it and try to say, well, this is a good.
Let's see, where are they at now? Public comment is like next in this meeting.
The roads that we try to pick to apply for local aid, we know that DOT does not want to do a closed development that doesn't have any through traffic. They want to see that has a road that has a lot of used by various members of the public. Like, I think the Orchard Road project is a great example of that. Oh, well, we put in our application. It's serving the new municipal complex.
Seth got new meds. Seth got new meds from up north. What'd you get, Seth? Anything good?
We're extending this sidewalk so that more people can
We
walk to the
are looking forward to seeing you all at the next event. We'll be at the State House on Thursday. And Lake and Bake, August 14th. A week later, New Jersey Canafest. Got some busy times coming up. So, fun times in the cannabis community. Living in the gray area.
If there's some other
all right, what is she talking about? Oh, please.
To be done, design work,
Oh my gosh.
any kind of permitting, then we will do those kinds of projects.
Okay, we're not talking about anything important. Can we talk about cannabis patients and wheelchair access now, please?
Public Works just do Wiggins. Well, that had all kinds of drainage problems, curb work. So we added inlets, we had curb work done that Public Works really isn't set up to do. So that was part of our project. That's a small example, but it's a simple example. If it has a lot of sidewalk work, Public Works isn't really set up to do. Public Works, they have their Morris County Co-op that they've been doing a lot of paving work with. So if it's very little drainage work that has to be done, or just like,
oh, you're draining me, lady.
All the inlets, they have to be fixed up to comply with.
I am so drained right now.
Rules that has the more restrictive grates. They can do that, but any kind of more extensive drainage work, then they say, yeah, can you do that project?
Come on, man.
I'm like, sure, no problem.
Oh,
so we split it up.
Please, you're killing me with this.
I guess that's my
Is that it?
my best explanation there.
Yeah, the non-technical work that Public Works can basically do a road repaving project. That's what they'll handle, and Gail's office handles the more technical. And they meet, they'll be meeting soon this fall as we prepare for the 2022 budget, developing their priority list. So they work closely together to develop their road paving
Can we please get to the council
divide
meeting
them based upon
right
the
now?
Technical nature of the work.
Gotcha. Okay, great. Thank you for the explanation.
Oh,
You're
thanks. Thanks so much for that question.
Anybody else have any questions?
No,
for Gail?
no more questions, please.
Okay.
Public
Gail,
comment.
thank you very much for joining us
Public comment.
this evening and letting us know what's happening in the world of engineering.
I don't
for
have a
Montgomery
shirt
Township.
on.
I know you got a lot on
I
your
hope they don't
plate.
go to video because I don't have a shirt on.
Thank you for all the work that you do.
Okay, thank you
I'm not
for
putting
your
one on
support.
either. I don't plan on putting a shirt on either.
All right, good night.
Night.
All right, so the next item on the agenda is public comment.
Thank you.
To make a public comment, participants may comment by utilizing
Utilizing the raise your hand feature in Zoom. For members of the public participating by phone, you may raise your hand by dialing *9. Members of the public may also submit comments in advance of any meeting by sending an email to publiccomment@twp.montgomery.nj.us or by written letter form delivered to the Montgomery Township Municipal Building, 2261 Route 206, Belmead, New Jersey, 08502. All advance comments must be received by 4 p.m. the day of the scheduled meeting and will be read by the township clerk during the public comment portion of the meeting. We respectfully ask members of the public to limit your comments to approximately 3 spoken minutes. Additionally, if your comments are similar to comments already made, instead of repeating them at length, we ask that you instead indicate that you join in or support those comments previously made. So with that, I see we have one hand raised among the members of the public here, you, Giordano. So we can bring him in. I'd appreciate that.
Uh-oh, I gotta put a shirt on. Shoot. I gotta put clothes on. God. I don't have a
Mr.
shirt.
Giordano, you need to unmute yourself. And you need to state your name and your address, please, before you make your comments.
Yes, my name is Hugh Giordano, and I live at 57 Argyle in Blackwood, New Jersey. I'm here as a representative of the United Food and Commercial Workers Union, UFCW. The UFCW is a national labor union of 1.3 million hardworking families, and we are the official labor union that represents cannabis workers from seed to sale, both medical and adult use, under the guise of the AFL-CIO. We are also working in conjunction with our union brothers and sisters in the building trades, such as the IBEW, the steam fitters, carpenters, who will be doing the retrofit and the build out of the facilities here. So it's a shovel to sale job, unionized. The UFCW opposes an opt-out ordinance. These jobs come with a living wage, sick time, vacation time, paternity leave, dental, vision. These are careers. The people that work in the cannabis industry have degrees in horticulture, botany, chemistry. Even currently in the facilities we represent here in the medical side, in the retail establishments, we have pharmacists. So they attract middle-class, educated families who will live in the township and move to the township. One of the things I want to suggest is the city of Bayonne. The city of Bayonne passed an ordinance about 2.5 months ago. And the city of Bayonne's ordinance lays out application fees, renewal fees. They even laid out how many of each license they want and which ones they don't want, and they zoned it where they want to put it. They also have a merit-based application system, so you can look at things such as environmental standards. If they polluted in Colorado, they're going to pollute here. Labor standards. If they fought workers' rights in Illinois, they're going to fight workers' rights here. And also security standards. In the facilities that we represent, our security guards are retired police officers. So you took union members who were retired and made them union members once again and created more equitable economy within the township. So it creates jobs through and through. And unfortunately, this opt-out ordinance is an attack on workers' rights. It's an attack on middle-class jobs. And we would ask you to table it and reconsider. I would also ask that if you want to come to a tour of a dispensary, a full vertical facility from seed to sale, you can see it for yourself, your own eyes. And you can invite the chief of police as well and all the rest of the administration to the Garden State Dispensary in Woodbridge, which is vertically integrated. So you can see cultivation to sale, see the whole thing for yourself. You don't have to ask Aunt Millie no more in Colorado. You can actually see it. And it's an opportunity to see the expertise and security as well. The cameras go directly to the state police, and they have a 30-day update of the videos. So it's more secure than a bank or current Rite Aid or CVS. So I would highly suggest that you reconsider, and we would like to see the township support working class people. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next person with their hand up is Lefty Grimes. So if you could bring Lefty Grimes in.
Recording in progress.
Lefty, if you can unmute yourself, state your name and your address for the record, please.
Good evening, Council. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, thank you. We can see you as well.
There we go. I appreciate that. My name is Edward Lefty Grimes. I'm with sativacross.org. We're a 501c3 here in New Jersey advocating for disabled rights, cannabis patients' rights, disabled vets. I want to thank you for having this meeting online. A lot of towns have stopped doing these meetings online, and it's very hurtful to disabled people and to disabled vets because for 14 months, disabled vets are able to take part very easily with these town meetings. And for 14 months, we did these virtual meetings for healthy people. And all these things that we're doing now, disabled vets and disabled people have been asking for years, like online school, online church, online council meetings, online work. And we got all those things for healthy people. And now disabled people are asking for those things again. And a lot of towns are denying disabled vets the right to speak again at these meetings. I mean, you got people in their deathbeds that can't take part, people with cancer. So this is very important that you're allowing people to take part. This is great. And I think you'll have more interaction with people this way. The ordinance about cannabis, banning medical cannabis, is actually hurtful to disabled vets. I've gone to towns and a lot of towns, and I tell them, spend a day in a wheelchair. Spend one day, just one day, a slice of what disabled vets have to go through. Spend one day in a wheelchair, and you'll see it's not that easy. And to get your medicine, how far do you want to will yourself to get your medicine that's going to cure your or help your PTSD? A lot of these vets have guns in their mouths. They're ready to kill themselves. And cannabis is helping them. They got off all these pharmaceuticals. A lot of my friends are off pharmaceuticals like me and using only cannabis, using only God's medicine. And a lot of towns are stigmatizing God's medicine while they're selling synthetic marijuana in the pharmacies. But God's medicine we seem to want to stigmatize. So I ask that you consider the people in wheelchairs. Consider the wheelchair tax. There's a wheelchair tax you can actually take. It's 2% tax. I don't like it, but if it's going to help us get wheelchair ramps in town, I'm all for it. We want representation for that taxation. So if you're going to tax us our wheelchairs, give us something for those wheelchairs. Give us wheelchair ramps. We have no access in New Jersey. Very poor. High schools, police stations in Union City, Bayonne, Brielle, no wheelchair access. High schools with only one ramp going in where students are fire hazards. I don't know if you have this issue in your town, but if you only have one entrance that's handicap accessible, that person is a potential fire hazard on the other side of the building where there's steps, because who's going to carry that person down those steps when they're on the other side of the building away from that ramp? These are all things we need to consider. And if we put the last first, if we do what Jesus told us to do and put the last first, all this stuff will fall into place. All the compassion will happen. And that's all we're asking for. We're asking for medical cannabis for the vets, for people that need it, for people that can't get it, and for people in wheelchairs. I mean, we're getting hit from all sides. We're getting hit with tax, state tax. We're getting hit 2% tax. These huge corporations are coming in here from other countries, building an industry on the backs of the sick and the dying. We want working class people to be raised up. We want local craft cannabis people to working class people to own these dispensaries, not these billionaires coming in. You should have an ordinance or a rule where if you own a dispensary in town, you have to live in town or live in the county to make them interactive, make these people interact with the community. We don't want these billionaires just coming in here. And we need more unions to take over, because the cannabis business coming in here, it's unregulated. I don't care how regulated they say it is. It's unregulated. These huge corporations can do what they want, and they need to be controlled because they're giving us moldy medicine. People with immune issues and cancer cannot use moldy medicine. It's unacceptable. So there's a lot of things to consider in this ordinance, and if you have compassion, I'd hope that you would consider the sick and the dying before anything else. And I'll end with this. They went with songs to the battle. They were young, straight of limb, true of eye, steady and aglow. They were staunch to the end against odds uncounted. They fell with their faces to the foe. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. Thank you very much.
Thank you. King.
Recording in progress.
All right. Anybody else? I think we're going to give Keith a call. I think we're done with Montgomery.
Mr. King, if you could
never mind.
unmute yourself and
Jeff King?
State your name and address for the record, please, before you make your comments.
Hello, my name is Jeffrey King. I'm at 24 Elizabeth Parkway in Eatontown. Thank you very much, Mayor and committee, for allowing me to attend your meeting and to be seen and heard. I appreciate it very much. Just do agree with the prior gentleman, Mr. Giordano and Mr. Grimes, on the points that they were making. We do need to have compassion for people who are sick and suffering, first and foremost. I think we need to bend over backwards to give medical access to people who are in the program, people who have cancer and multiple sclerosis and terrible conditions, horrible suffering. We should carve out access for them immediately. It should have already been taken care of. I don't understand why that isn't a high priority. It's something that we all can do better on, more compassion. The stigma against this plant is so outdated and it's based on racism. So going ahead and banning it just sort of perpetuates that. Even if we have other motives and intentions, people have been arrested for this plant up until this year. And we need to heal that suffering and that pain with more enlightened action. This type of ban, and it's happening all over the state. And I feel like it infringes upon my spirituality. I consume cannabis as part of the sacrament of my religion. And I feel discriminated against by all the communities that are banning. It's just really hurtful to me and my friends and people that are depending on this for their pain relief. Veterans, my father is a veteran. He's a member of the American Legion. The American Legion overwhelmingly supports medical cannabis. Overwhelmingly. Veterans know this is a way to keep off of opiates and off of addictive drugs that the VA forces upon them. We need you to lead us. The federal government, the VA is failing veterans. It's up to us to help them. You play a role in this. It's important. Every town matters, and every action like this is hurtful and causes more suffering and more delay and more of the same failed drug war policies, really, at the end of the day. And a ban would be easier to swallow if Trenton listened to the will of the people and gave home growing as part of this law. That was a major failure in Trenton. And you should call them out and say, we're banning and we expected home grow. Whereas home growing is part of what was voted for. That should be a whereas in all the towns, especially the banning towns. Whereas home growing would have made this less of a problem for patients. They would have access to affordable medicine that works for them. Right now, that is a failure of the state's Department of Health and the mayors in towns. The League of Municipalities has done nothing to help that. Nothing. The League of Municipalities has given you bad advice, horrible advice with no update at all. They just said, oh, ban it, period. End of discussion. Despite the will of the voters wanting it, they had no.
Actually, to be technically correct, the league went neutral on cannabis. So they took no position on it whatsoever.
They recommended to ban until the 21st.
Yeah, they did.
And if they were neutral, I would have had a lot easier time going to the towns and councils like you and asking for a table on the municipal ban. They're doing what the league told them to do, and the league is leading you like the emperor wears no clothes.
That's right.
And all the towns are following along like they go down to Atlantic City and party every November with them and do Me Too. That's what the league is now, just useless. So I'm sorry that that's the advice that you have to follow, I guess. You can't go about your own business. Bayonne did, Eatontown did. Lots of towns have ordinances that you can look to craft like your own. And I would take advantage of the opportunity to tour a facility and come up with a regulation that's more helpful to the community. Thank you very much for letting me speak. I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming down.
Yeah. Thank you, Jeff. Good job. Amazing.
All right. I don't see any other hands
Is that it?
raised.
Okay.
So we're going
to move on too.
Sorry.
We're going to move on and talk about last night. We're going to debrief.
Bring her in, please.
Debrief from last night. Last night was crazy. Now, I hope my phones work. Hold on. Let me check my phones here.
Rogers, please unmute yourself.
Please work.
State your name and
Oh, somebody else is speaking? Hold on.
Yes. My name is Susan Rogers. I live in Montgomery. And I assume you recorded the, I don't know, have to start the video. Did you record the other speakers, by the way? May I ask?
The entire meeting is being recorded.
Okay, well, I got a special message that I'm being recorded, so that's fine.
That's just, Ms. Rogers, that's just a warning to let everybody know that they're being recorded if they're participating in the meeting. And, you can certainly opt out if you don't want to be recorded. That's all that's noting.
That's fine. I don't, and it's fine because I'd like to be heard by people who would hear the recording. I also want to say that it seems to me, all right, I was looking at the clock. You gave extra time to Lefty Grimes and
you did?
to Jeff King, who just spoke. So I hope you won't be cutting me off. I hope I'll get time, a little extra time.
Really?
As well.
You're penny pinching my seconds?
And, I want to say, each of these three speakers before me, I don't know if they were invited to come in.
Here we go. Here we go.
Jeff King, I believe he said he's from Eatontown. I don't know why he would be speaking on
out-of-towners
on behalf of, wanting the opt-in for our township from Eatontown. That seems a bit unfair.
Because we care more about your people than you do.
Let me just address a couple things that were said. The first gentleman, I think it was Mr. Giordano. He was talking about, he, I guess, represents the industry, union workers. He spoke on behalf of creating jobs and workers' rights. Now, I want to say, I've sent you a lot of material, and I hope each one of you have had an opportunity to read the studies that I prepared and sent in quite depth
from
respected medical journals.
SAMP.
And they're all referenced, all with websites. They're all publicly available.
Kevin Sabet says you're going to all die.
The voice of those of us who live in the town, who are township residents and who have concerns and whose concerns were reflected in my across several categories of concerns, should be publicly aired. I was going to ask, actually, I was going to speak today to ask, what would your procedure be moving forward? Because it's quite clear that your leaning is toward wanting to allow cannabis business in town. You're waiting for the CRC. I would like to know, what is your process going to be moving forward to make sure that all of our over 7,600 township residential households are notified of these meetings, are given information, and I mean the kind of information that I have sent to you, which would balance out the 3 speakers who were on before me. Again, if these were people who you invited to come in, I would encourage you to also invite in healthcare professionals.
Kevin
Sabet. The topic of adolescence. Again, the studies that I sent you, this isn't just the legalization. This has to do with when you have retail cannabis dispensaries in town. This has been proven by studies, data. The data shows that this increases the usage, the exposure, and the usage by adolescents to begin marijuana and using cannabis, and all the associated health and negative and adverse health impacts. So I wanted to say, as far as Mr. Giordano's speech goes, he's representing workers' rights. I'm representing township resident rights here. And we need to be heard, and we need to have the information disseminated. I would love for the entire township to receive those studies that I sent to you, so they would get a balanced portrayal of risk versus benefit for opting in versus opting out for cannabis. As far as the second speaker, Lefty Grimes, goes,
here we go.
I empathize with him being a disabled veteran and
not a vet,
who he represents. I don't know whether he's from in town or not. I didn't catch that. But when he said put the last first as his ending, I'm going to say the same thing. Let's put our children first. Let's put the last first, the children who can't speak for themselves at these hearings, okay, who are represented by parents from this
That's
township.
not what I meant when I said last first.
I would say, if you're going to start this process up to reassess opting out, I think the entire school district should be involved in this to disseminate this information to every parent with a child in the school district.
Rogers, why don't you start wrapping it up, please?
Well, okay, you didn't say this to the other speakers.
But you've also now taken up about 5 minutes.
Okay, no, I didn't take up 5 minutes. I'll end by saying with Mr. Jeff King, again, he's from a different town. He is politicizing this. His comments were more or less outdated, racism. His comments have to do with politicizing this process. And I'm going to tell you something.
Tell us.
Right from the get-go, this should not be a politicized matter whatsoever. This is a public health, a public safety, and an environmental issue for all of the township residents who live here. And as far as access to the drugs, I'll wrap it up by saying, for people like Mr. King and people like Mr. Grimes, delivery of cannabis has not been opted out. That the law allows that they are free to get deliveries, and the deliveries can come from anywhere, just like we order from Amazon. So it's not necessary to have these physical locations here in town, either through any of the licenses 1 through 5. And the last thing I want to say is I would like a statement from this committee as to how you're going to resume this or continue
She
this
wants a lot.
process.
Very
in order
demanding.
to make this a fully conclusive process for all of our township residents to disseminate factual information, a balance of risk versus benefit, cost versus revenue, because this was rather unfair to have these three people here, somebody from Eatontown, I imagine he must have been invited in. We need to make this a fair process. And I would like a response to that, please, from
Here's your response.
the committee as to how you're going to proceed from here to make it a process that's fair, inclusive.
I don't like what they said, so make them go away.
We're going to consider an ordinance later tonight on the agenda, and that if it gets approved for introduction, we'll go to the planning board for a check that it's in compliance with the master plan. It will come back to us again at our next meeting, where we will have a public hearing and approve it, presumably. And if that's what ends up happening, then we have opted out. So that's where this will end up going. As for any further process, that remains to be seen. That'll be down the road. And I really disagree with what you're saying about the public was not part of this process. We held a town hall meeting that was publicly noticed, publicly advertised. We have held additional presentations at these township committee meetings, at least 2 of them. And let's face it, you have come to each and every of one of those meetings and spoken multiple times. The fact that other people don't come and speak, I'm sorry, that's democracy, right? So people can choose to speak, they can choose not to speak. And, as far as I'm concerned, democracy is a participation sport. And if people choose not to participate, that's on them. But that's what free choice is about. They can choose to participate, they can choose to not participate. So, I find it a little offensive that you're saying that we don't have a public process, because I think we have had a very public process.
You spoke 12 times,
and
lady.
I dare you to compare that to the process that happened when the other party controlled this committee and had no public hearings on banning all of this. None, 0, except for the one that dealt with the actual ordinance that they passed. So appreciate you coming to our meetings and speaking, but I disagree with what you're saying. We have one more speaker, Jamie Van Sciver. Sorry if I mispronounced your name.
Great follow here. This will be great.
Oh, one more thing. We didn't invite anybody to come and speak here. This is a public forum. People get to do that if they want.
Rip them, Jamie.
Thank you, Deputy
Get him,
Mayor
Jamie.
Shaldine. I was going to raise my hand and say that. So thank you for clarifying that.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
Deputy Mayor, if I may, can we also just hold any individuals who want to make a public comment at this point forward to 3-minute limit as just a general notice?
Yes, I agree.
Okay.
Thank you.
Susan, ruin it for everybody.
Oh, Mr. Van Sciver, Jamie, you're on.
Thank you. Good evening. Greenwich Avenue in Paulsboro, New Jersey. I'm not a resident, but I am also a board member of Sativa Cross nonprofit. We're patients. We want patients to have access to medicine. That's our agenda. We want disabled people that maybe need wheelchairs to have access to go to things that they need and do their shopping. I'm a medical patient. I have systemic lupus, fibromyalgia, scoliosis, neuropathy, connective tissue disorder. I don't take any pharmaceuticals. I'm here to talk for the people in your community that may not be well enough to come and speak tonight, like I was years ago when I was getting infusions and taking immune suppressants. It was terrible. I'm managing my illness. Lab work doesn't lie. It's helping so much, and I think we really need to pay attention to it. The only thing that we have access to right now in a lot of communities is pharmaceuticals, and a lot of disabled people get that for free, and you can practically get it delivered right to your door. Cannabis isn't easy. It's not cheap. It's very stigmatized. I just hope that you would give at least medical patients in your community. We don't have delivery. I don't drive with my disability. Um, I looked yesterday before a meeting in my town, and it was a $30 Uber ride each way. People can't afford that. And also, when you're disabled, it doesn't mean that you're like on house arrest. You should be able to go out and participate some in life. You should be able to go to the dispensary and look at the selections that they have available. You should be able to talk to the bud tender and say, I'm doing an infusion. It's practically like chemo. I'm having a lot of stomach problems. Do you recommend, something on the menu specifically for that? They don't want to look at a picture that was maybe a thumbnail from 3 batches ago. They can't smell that. They can't talk to anyone. They deserve to interact and participate in their health care. And we're taxing it like what other medications taxed? Please have empathy for chronically ill, terminally ill, people that are suffering and dying. This is a plant. Like all these other things, when chronic pain and chronic illness, these are conditions that are not going away. And I think we can all understand when you get on these pharmaceuticals, your body builds tolerances, and in turn, you need more and take more, and it's just ravaging. Like, what are we expecting besides the opioid crisis? Why are we surprised our Narcan counts are going up? Fentanyl, Oxycontin, all of these things that we give people as we consider blocking a legal substance, a medical substance, a substance that is saving people's lives.
Can you begin the wrap
Very
up,
much
please?
for your time. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you for your comments. All right, and that closes out public comment. We are now going to move on to the next item on the agenda, which is the consent agenda. All matters listed hereunder are considered to be routine in nature and will be enacted in one motion. Any township committee person may request that an item be removed for separate
That was fun. Let's
I'm not going to read all the items
make our
together.
phone
I will
calls
just go
now.
through you.
Wow.
I do wanna make a
Susan,
comment.
thank you for making my night interesting. Calling us out by name. All right, let's see if my phones work. Keith, I'm testing out my phone live on the air, so hold on. Bear with me. I don't think it's working. Hold on. Keith, can you hear me? Okay, hold on. My phone's not working. Hold on. Try it again. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Damn. Hold on. All right, you can hear me now, right? Yes. All right, hold on. I'll do it the hard way. Oh. Sorry, bro. I was just in Montgomery listening to some ignorance in Montgomery. Wow. I don't know if you heard that. Oh, what's going on here? Hold on. Yeah, some lady got on and she was just like, "Why did you invite all these people to come from out of town to speak?" Like, wow.
Wow. That's terrible.
Hold on a second. Let me see if I can hear. Hold on. Oh, hold on. All right. Hold on. Jeez. Sorry. I'm trying to set my phones are not working, and I gotta do it this way. All right. I think I can hear you now. So, Keith, that was amazing last night, man. I had a good time, and thank you for putting that together last night in Wall. I did feel like I was talking to a wall, though.
Yeah, I kind of get that feeling. That was my 4th meeting going there for this topic, and I honestly, it was weird because I feel like they were kind of perceptive to medical.
It seemed like it.
That might be the push overall. See if I could get a medical dispensary in town, and then if they decide to go rec later, cool. Because I feel like they definitely at least it seemed like Beck had, like, I went over and I watched the tapes from everything you recorded, everything I recorded, and it seemed like Beck was really trying to, like, help convince them for us. It was weird.
Yeah, he was very diplomatic.
He was. So I feel like having the fact that the deputy mayor is kind of like understanding of our cause, that kind of helps.
Yeah, it seemed like you might have about 3 votes on that council right now, as it stands.
Yeah, that's what I think.
You need 4, right?
I think, yeah. Well, 3 actually. I think as long as I have majority.
Okay, so it's 3 out of 5 then.
Which 3 do you think?
Becht, the Kingman, and hey, even the mayor. Is that the guy in the middle? That was the mayor, right? He seemed he might be all right. I don't know.
I feel like if the deputy mayor is for it, then he might be able to convince the mayor, and if the mayor, he's the mayor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so that's where I feel like it's at. I don't know.
What I don't like is you guys said something to me last night that resonated. The big fish. They're waiting for the big fish. They're banning it, and once the big fish from from Canada comes in and says, here's a bag full of money, then all of a sudden they're unbanning it.
Yeah.
That's what I expect from Republicans anyway.
They're holding out for the best buyer.
Yeah.
Which sucks because that means they're going to totally scrub the market of any entrepreneurs or small businesses, micro licenses, anybody that wants to get their foot in the door. They're going to totally snuff those people, but
working class gets screwed again.
Of course. Yeah. But we're all supposed to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps, don't you know?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to pull together 15 million in bootstraps.
Yeah. American dream's great if you're fucking already rich.
Sure.
But now we're getting into class politics, not even weed politics. Well, weed politics are class politics if you think about it.
Class and race. Yep.
Yep.
Now you and Lincoln grew up together?
Yeah. We grew up in the same neighborhood.
Now, you smoked the same amount of weed, but Lincoln got arrested more times than you.
Yeah.
Right? And harassed.
And he got pulled over more than I did, despite having his license. He got his license later in life. I think he was in his 20s. I was 18, and I'm a year older than him. So I think I had my license for maybe 3 years longer than him.
Driving while black is a thing, man. My friend got pulled over for driving while black in Haddon Heights.
Oh yeah, and they all knew his name too. They knew him by name.
Mm-hmm.
It was fucked up.
Man.
I mean, luckily that's not the situation anymore. Once he became a medical patient, that's really when things started to turn around, and they didn't fuck with him anymore. But
I'm still nervous as a medical patient.
Yeah, I don't blame you, man. Like, we're just because we've made progress doesn't mean that we're completely where we want to be with any of this. You know what I mean? Like, we're still fighting. Obviously, last night is proof enough that we're still fighting. What you did just now, proof that we're still fighting. And we shouldn't have to. That's the fucked up part about it. We really shouldn't have to do all this, but
nope.
I'm happy to do it because I know I'm standing up for the right thing. I know I'm on the right side of history with this.
Well, think about this. That whole council, their grandparents are probably all from down the shore. Their grandparents are probably racist. I mean, I'm coming out on a limb here because the KKK was all over the Ocean County, Jersey Shore. They built buildings in Oceanport, in Ocean County.
Do you know the history of Wall?
Tell me about the history of Wall.
Oh, okay. So they were like a stronghold for the Klan before it was military land. Wall Township actually used to be called. There was a sign in certain sections of Wall that was called Imperial Park. Our mascot is called the Crimson Knight. Basically, a reference to. They say that it's in reference to the Scarlet Knights, like Rutgers, but it's really more so a reference towards the Grand Wizard of the KKK being the knight and being associated with red. So yeah, there's a lot of like little hidden nuggets of racism within Wall Township. And that's kind of why I'm pushing so hard for something that will basically kind of not totally undo, but in some ways undo some of the racial disparities, at least when it came to marijuana in the town. Because I feel like that's one of the main reasons they're doing this, because they think that having a dispensary is going to attract black people to the town. I feel like that's the main, because let's face it, the Republicans, not all Republicans are racist, but most racists are Republican.
Yes, exactly.
So I feel like that's really the basis for it. That's why they're all like anti-weed, because as we know, the war on drugs and the war on weed were both used for to fight the civil rights movement and to fight the anti-war movement. So it's like it's always been a way to shut down hippies and black people. So I feel like this is just a continuation of that in the modern era.
Yeah,
I don't like
yeah. There's a lot of things they can't say anymore, so they use other narratives now.
Yeah, they use dog whistles, or they say we don't. It's not part of the image that we have for our town.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you just want a fucking white ethno state town. That's basically what you want.
Yeah, the image. How about the one town that said MS-13 is going to come into our town now?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That sounds like some Trump rhetoric.
Yeah.
Because that's what he said. And you know what the funny thing is? The whole Trump rhetoric with the border, that's the same shit that they used for Reaper Madness, saying that that's where the term marijuana came from, was they said that they confused cannabis with dirty Mexican tobacco, and they said that Mexican people were bringing that over the border, and it was causing people to become lazy, and they associated it with crime, and they said that it was causing black jazz musicians to become sexually thrilled towards white women. Like, they said all sorts of crazy shit off this, and it's like, it's the same rhetoric, but they're kind of having to be, like, Trump flat out said it. He's like, they're not bringing their best, they're bringing rapists, criminals, stuff like that. So he kind of went along the same lines as like the Harry Anslinger types, but with less of a filter.
Well, when Trump was talking about the racists with the torches and the brown shirts, he says, "Oh, there's good people on both sides." He didn't denounce them at all. He said, "Oh, there's good people on both sides." So.
Okay, cool. Glad to know that you think white nationalists are good. Cool.
Well, this
and
country.
you said the same thing about what's her face, the fucking Jeffrey Epstein's former girlfriend. I can't pronounce her. Ghislaine Maxwell. He said that he wished her well. Like, Jesus Christ, bro. You just really have to fucking kiss ass to a bunch of really shitty people. But now we're getting off topic.
Well, no, it is the same topic, because this country was built on a lie. This country was built on the Declaration of Independence, which says that all men are created equal, except black people, except Indians, except women, except it's all these exceptions. They didn't say those exceptions, but they were like inferred. It was like nod, nod, wink, wink. All men are created equal. Ha ha. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, okay, so who was lying? Is the Declaration of Independence a lie, or was George Washington and the Founding Fathers liars? One of them is not telling the truth. Which is it? Is it the document or the people?
Yep.
Great document if it was true. It wasn't true.
I mean, it doesn't mean that it can't be true. I mean, that's the thing, that with the Constitution, it's a living document and has been amended many times.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't but that all the people that are all gung-ho Constitution should know that and should try to make it that way, but instead they do the opposite. They say, oh, I believe in the Constitution, and then go and fucking praise authoritarians. It's like, you can't have both, right?
Even the church is divided. My church, you got Republican Jesus, and then you got the socialist couch surfing Jesus. You have Republican Jesus people that used to leave church and go play at the fairs and play African Dodger. You know what African Dodger is, right? That's when you throw rocks or balls at a black person behind a curtain, and their face is like cut out in the curtain, and you try to hit them in the face. And they forced black people to play this game. Churches, people in churches were doing this.
That's really fucked up.
And I argue with people in my church about stuff like this because it's very divided. Cannabis is a very divisive thing. Black Lives Matter is very divisive in church. I'm like, well, then you're not a Christian. If you have a problem with Black Lives Matter and helping cannabis patients with God's medicine, then I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say to people like that.
Yeah, no, the hypocrisy in modern, like, especially modern conservative Christians is like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's like you don't believe in any of the things that you're saying that you believe in.
Uh-huh. They get so mad at gay people. Okay, so read the next paragraph after you talk about gay people in Leviticus. They say tattoos are just as bad. So anybody who has a tattoo is doing the same thing as a gay person. So let's stigmatize everybody with a tattoo now.
Yeah.
Like, really?
It's all just an excuse to hate people.
Yeah. Yeah, let's stigmatize gay people, and then they're scared because then they wonder why gay people are getting beat up. Because you stigmatize them and you make fun of them, and that's not Christian. It's not.
Nope.
So, and I guess I'm a progressive Christian. I don't know how you would label me, but oh well.
But I applaud that. That's cool as shit. You know what I mean?
There's things we don't do anymore. There's things a lot of things they did in ancient times that were brutal. They used to put if you had a baby was born, and the father would see the baby for the first time, and if he didn't like the baby, if it was deformed, or if it was even a female, they would say he wouldn't want it, and he would leave it, and they would throw the baby out on the pile to die. That was brutal times back then.
Yep.
I mean, this is how it was. It was sick. So, a lot of crazy stuff happened in those days, the old times.
Yeah.
So, I don't know where we're going with that. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Yo, tell me more about Wall, because I know they built buildings for the KKK in Oceanport. Any buildings in Wall built by the KKK or?
My entire section was before it was owned by the military. It was developed by the Klan. There was actually, as Lincoln said in the last meeting, there was actually the first black family that ever lived in Wall Township had a cross burned on their front lawn. And basically none of the neighbors did anything about it. So, yeah, this town has a past, and that's what I'm really trying to do is heal that. And we've just the first thing that I want to do here. I feel like that's something that is such a no-brainer that it's kind of like it should be unifying to Republicans, Democrats, young people, old people. I feel like that's just an issue where it's almost like duh. So that's what I want to start with, and then I want to get into more progressive issues as I feel like I can. I think that's also going to be difficult with this committee because they do seem to lean very starchly to the right, and I don't know if I feel like as far as the right spectrum, I feel like Kingman and Beck aren't as far right as maybe Farrell and Orander. It's really hard to get a read on Mangan because she's very quiet. But I don't know. It
seemed like I pointed at the right person.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's definitely the hothead on the entire committee. So I feel like a lot of the opposition to this is coming mostly from him. But if he, like he says, and he's for veterans and he's for medical marijuana, what we said yesterday might have stirred him up a little bit.
I hope so. Yeah.
I think the next meeting I'm really going to focus on, okay, well, if you say you're for medical marijuana, put your money where your mouth is. Repeal this ban and let's get a medical dispensary.
Yeah, where's it going? Where are you putting it?
Yeah, that's what I'll be like, listen, we'll help you put together a cannabis planning board. Let's do it.
We know what we know what they need. We know what patients need.
Yeah.
Give them what they want.
If anything, like, why not take the advice of the people that are screaming at you, right? Like, we're literally telling you how we think this should be done. It's our area of expertise. Just let us roll with it. I don't understand why this is so hard. They say democracy's slow moving. It's slow moving because you guys are fucking getting in the way. Get out of the way and maybe we could get this democracy rolling.
Why are we yelling? Because you're not listening.
Yeah. You're telling us, oh, well, 10,000 people voted for it, but I don't see them. Yeah, because people are scared. It's not like this is like you said, this is a new law, so they're still trying to figure out if they're going to be treated like criminals or not. And the way the committee has talked to me a couple times, it doesn't seem like, well, at first it didn't seem like they really had very much respect for what we were trying to do.
That's what it seemed. Yeah, it seemed like that.
The tone has shifted a little bit. Like, it seems like at least some of the members are a little bit more perceptive than they were, which means that what we're doing is working. So,
well, here's the thing. Here's the thing about Republicans. You start talking about disabled vets to Republicans, they lose their mind. It's like calling a Republican a commie. You can't do that. They'll freak out. So, you know, we definitely triggered him, and he was the right guy to trigger because now maybe he's going to do something for vets. Instead of flapping his gums, maybe he'll help the vets that, you know, with these virtual meetings. You know, these virtual
meetings. Talk to the veterans that he's friends with and be like, hey, can you believe these guys said that? And they'll be like, I don't know. Well, maybe I kind of agree.
Yeah.
Or maybe some of them will be medical patients and be like, oh, yeah, well, I kind of agree with that.
Just like, come on, man. We want you guys to have access to the meetings and access to medicine. It's like not a hard thing to get your head around. Come on. How'd you get security there all day? Did you pay for security or did you tell them to give you security? How'd that happen?
What, the cops?
Yeah, the security that you had.
No, they just did that because at the last protest, which was Army of 3, they had even more cops than that because I think they expected way more to show up.
Wow.
But
well, they were happy.
The last one got rained out, so I think by this time they realized that we were going to be peaceful, so that's why they only had the 2 cops. They were.
Come on, I've never seen a violent pothead in my life.
Right? It's like we're chill as fuck. You don't see the numbers even. Domestic violence from alcohol compared to marijuana.
Oh, please.
It's like there's almost no comparison.
No.
So it's like crazy. I don't know, man. Like I've tried to. I think that we've tried almost every single argument, and I think they're running out of arguments against us, which is good. So I think now at this point we're gonna just have to. We start the negotiation phase. Okay, well, you agree with us on medical. Let's get a medical dispensary. Let's do it now, and really see if they're actually willing to work with us, or if they're just saying that to push it off until the 21st. And I really hope that if like we can get something in Wall, that also helps encourage other, like, because I feel like Wall being as strict as it is, if other towns that are semi-strict see Wall fold, then that might actually start a domino effect where some of the more hesitant towns might be like, oh, well, Wall said okay. You know what I mean? Or even if they see that we were able to get the activism to change that, then more people might step up at other meetings. I don't know.
You know what we laughed about last night was that we're going to these meetings and asking to be taxed. Like all these years, we were going to the black market, not getting taxed, and now we're going to these meetings and like, please tax us, please. Like, what are we doing, really?
Yeah,
Have we lost our minds?
I think that the idea of going in a legitimate field, I feel like there's something good about that.
Something.
And also, I feel like if Schumer, well, I mean, because like think about it. If they do long term go and they make it federally legal, then you could actually weed businesses will actually be able to file taxes and get money back for get deductions like stuff that would be investments in making better quality weed would be incentivized. So it would be good for the industry itself. It's just again, that's just going to be something that's going to take time and progress down the road. I don't know. Yeah, I think the idea of taxing us, that's really just them trying to get some control over the industry, and they're trying to, it's a lot of it's capitalism, you know, but it is what it is. It's the system we're under, so I don't like it, but it is what it is. I would rather if it was just like, if everybody could just grow weed and we all just traded shit, like, that would be so nice if we could just trade it like Pokemon cards, but unfortunately we live in a system where it has to be supply and demand and blah, 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 you know? But if we can even just get medical patients in Wall covered, I feel like me as somebody would be a more of a rec person, I don't myself don't mind driving to another town because I'm able-bodied and I feel like that's cool. But I just want to use my privilege to stand up for people who are not like me, who aren't able-bodied, who can't make it to another town to get their medicine. I feel like that's why I'm doing this. It's not for me because, like, if I have to drive to, like, Neptune or Eatontown or any of the surrounding towns that might say yes, that's perfectly fine for me. But there's plenty of people in the town. There's a town of 30,000 people. I'm sure there's plenty of people that aren't able-bodied that smoke cannabis that might enjoy a dispensary in town. And that's what I'm really doing this for.
There it is. Do you have a website or anything we can promote right now?
Right now, all we have is a hashtag Weed for Wall, and you can search that on Facebook and find pretty much anything that has been linked. Thinking about doing a group. I'm not sure though, or like a page. I don't know.
What do we want?
Weed for Wall.
When do we want it?
No. That was awesome. That was so much fun.
Your bullhorn skills are amazing. I gotta tell you. That was great.
I don't know where I get it from. I think it's the ADHD. I'm just a naturally loud person.
What was the other one?
I don't know, but I've been told Weed for Wall will be bought and sold. That was great.
Oh man, awesome. We need to double the protesters next time in Wall.
Yeah, I don't know when the next meeting is. I'm going to call the clerk's office tomorrow. I'll get back to you on that, but I think we should do another protest before the meeting.
Right on, brother.
I think if we now calmly try and explain, hey, all right, we seem to be on the same page about medical. Let's get medical in here. I think that might be the bridge in. And if we can get them to agree on forming some sort of cannabis commission or something for Wall Township, I feel like that would help as well.
Yeah, some towns have done that, and it's been very helpful.
And yeah, I feel like that's the thing. They may not disagree with it, but they don't know what to do with it. And I feel like if we got people in there that were experienced with doing that, or we got the advice from towns in cities that had already had legal programs, or towns that had medicinal dispensaries in New Jersey, that would be really beneficial to try and getting past any roadblocks that they might see. Because I've come to the conclusion that if we want this, then we're going to have to be the ones that are going to have to guide them through this process. I feel like as far as them doing it on their own, they don't know what they're doing. They're a bunch of Republicans. They don't know how to handle a marijuana industry.
Hey, Becton said he smoked a blunt.
Yeah, I mean, I actually believe that. He seems like he based on his sense of humor, he seems like he would be a pretty chill and funny guy.
You don't say blunt. Like normal people don't say blunt.
Yeah, no, yeah. He would have said, okay, yeah.
I was like, oh, blunt. All right, we have to roll him a blunt.
Yeah, that was the funniest part. As soon as he took the camera off him, he turned into a totally different person. I'm like, okay, you're actually kind of cool. And I feel that's what I was showing my friend Pete all the footage last night. He's like, Beck was kind of trying to be a liaison between you guys and the rest of the committee. I think we flipped him. I really think we convinced him. The fact that he took one of the posters and said that he's going to bring it home, and then when we walked in, he was showing it to the rest of the committee. I feel like that was really huge too, and I didn't realize it at the time, but I was like, he's advertising for us. It just became the committee version of our protest.
Yes, thank you for joining our protest.
Yep. That's pretty cool. So
good job.
Yeah. We did some shit yesterday, homie. That was crazy.
Oh yeah. Looking forward to the next one, bro.
Hell yeah. What is the next move?
Well,
do you have any idea?
Come to Trenton. Come to Trenton. We'll talk about it on Thursday in Trenton. And we'll smoke
Thursday?
up. Yeah, Thursday in Trenton.
Remind me, like I said, stoner memory.
I know. Me too.
Oh God, we're gonna have to like both mark our calendars, have timers set, everything. But yeah, I'd be down for a Trenton trip.
Nice.
Yeah, let me know. As far as like what I said with Homegrow, I definitely want to see if we can get a march for that going. I like Lincoln's idea with the block party. That actually has some real interest because we could have like live music, stuff like that. I think that would be an interesting idea to develop for after August for some of the towns that say no. Just be like, oh, you're going to say no? Well, we're going to organize something cool that you can't do anything about. Have fun. A little bit of civil disobedience, we'll see.
Well, we're not being disobedient anymore. That's the thing. We're legal.
Yeah.
But not really. Not really.
It's in a gray area.
So weird. I know.
Yeah. I feel like that's the weird thing about legalization in Jersey. Like, they did it, and there's so many weird things about it. Like, we are the only state to not allow home grow. That's whack. Like, really whack. That has to be fixed. What else did they mess up? I like the fact that they say you can have possession up to 6 ounces. That was more than some other states. I don't know. What other things in the bill did you not like?
We didn't get delivery yet.
Yeah, delivery, yeah.
But no, the plant issue. I need 10 plants. Once I get 10 plants, I'm happy. I'm good.
Even if, like, we negotiate down to 6, I feel like that's still...
Never. Never over my dead body. You will claw those plants from my cold, dead hands.
Right.
No, I'm kidding.
You know, I any amount of plants, like, we just need home grow, and
Yeah.
they can try to work with us on how many, but we're gonna get it.
Yeah. More than one.
Yeah, definitely more than one, and definitely more than 0. 0 is
Yes.
definitely unacceptable number.
Yes. That has to be written in there. More than 0. Because you know how tricky they are.
I'll see if I can get Lincoln to come with me to Trenton too. I feel like that would be a cool trip.
Nice. I'm calling him up next. So let's see. I want to see how his feelings on last night.
We talked about it after you guys left because I drove him home. He lives in Forked River.
Oh right.
And so we sat and talked a little bit about it. And bro, this is like the most alive him and I have felt in a long time. We grew up smoking weed together. Like I started smoking around the same time he did, and we've been smoking weed for like mad long together. So this has been like just doing this and exercising our freedom has been so cool project, man. And he's smart as shit when it comes to this. Sometimes when it comes to the weed facts, I'm like, bro, where did you learn all this? He gets really deep into the technical side. I'm more in the political activism realm, but he's like, he knows all the science in it. I'm like, bro, you are fucking brilliant.
Yeah, he knows his stuff.
Yeah, he definitely knows his shit. I can't wait to see if he breaks into the legal industry, what he's gonna do, because that's gonna be the real fun of all of this, is seeing what he's able to do. He is fucking one of my best friends and probably one of the smartest people I know. Hats off to him. Honestly, I don't feel like this movement would have went as far if it was just me doing this. And I have to give him mad credit for helping me with this too. So, anyway. And thank you guys, because like if you guys hadn't showed up yesterday, my movement was dead in the water. You guys kind of just revitalized everything that I've been saying. So thank you.
No, thank you, man, because you're speaking the truth to power, and that's what's important. You know,
oh, hell yeah.
We need more people more people need to be doing this, taking part.
Yeah. Unfortunately, most revolutions are fought by the few. You think it was during the Revolutionary War that it was most of Americans?
No.
Hell no, it was just a few of them. But that's all right.
That's all right.
I want them to underestimate us. I want to be the underdog because underdogs usually win.
That's right. We don't punk out either.
Hell no.
We keep going.
Hell no.
Never ends.
Hell, my fucking last protest rained, turned around, and we fucking did what we did yesterday. So,
yeah.
No distractions. We just keep going, and we're gonna keep going. Thank you so much for everything you've done, homie. And for joining me on this.
Oh yeah, bro. Wall has a little bit of a meaning for me because of Jeff Oakes. Jeff Oakes was there with us, and
yeah.
You know.
You explained that you and Jeff King explained that yesterday.
Yeah,
He was really cool too.
Jeff
Like,
was
it
amazing.
good meeting both of y'all.
Yeah, it was a great meeting, and we hit him from all angles. It was good stuff.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. But
Can't
thanks.
wait to see what happens next time. I feel like we're an inch away from flipping them to our side. We'll see. We'll see what the future holds. Like I said, I'm gonna call the committee tomorrow, and we'll see what we can do. When the next one's gonna be. I think there's 2 more committee meetings before the deadline. So I want to see if we can attend both of those and see if we can jump out to any of the other ones around Monmouth County that are, even if it's like virtual meetings, just fucking flip in there, show face, and be like, listen, we've been doing all this in this town, and this town, you know. I think Belmar, I don't know what Belmar's going to do. I know Asbury said that they're working on the zoning.
No smoking on the boardwalk.
What?
No smoking on the boardwalk in Asbury.
Well, isn't that no cigarette smoking in 2?
Right, they just yeah, I guess they had an ordinance now that no smoking.
Yeah.
Apparently you could smoke on the boardwalk before. I didn't know that.
That's kind of whack, but yeah. But that's another thing. We could do like they did in Colorado and push for public smoking to where it's allowed in smoking sections everywhere. Like, they can't ban it. But I don't know.
I like it.
I feel like there's many battles in New Jersey that we're gonna have to fight because the way this state is, it can be pretty corrupt. So we're gonna have to counterbalance that with facts and just knowledge, just overall knowledge on the subject. We're gonna have to have our facts be 1,000 times stronger than their bullshit. And I feel like so far we're doing that. So just keep steady doing that. Yeah.
You got it, brother.
I don't know if there's anything else that you wanted to say on the subject or anything else you wanted to ask me.
Any wise words of wisdom before we sign off?
Wise word of wisdom. Always stand for your beliefs. Even if things get rough and you're fighting by yourself, eventually other people will see what you're doing and they'll stick with you. When I started this, it was just me, my bandmate Lagoon, and Lincoln, and now we got you guys on board, and we're going to continue to push to grow the numbers and rally the troops and see if we could push change, not only just for Wall, but for all of New Jersey, because this is going to be a new thing for all of us, and we're all in it together.
We'll leave it right there. Thank you, Keith Hunsinger. We'll talk to you soon, brother.
Thank you, sir. Have a great night.
You too. See ya. That's the real deal right there. That's good stuff, man. Good stuff. And also, we're going to call our friend Lincoln. Let's see if my phone works from here now. Hold on. This would be great if it works. Of course it's not going to work. Nope. Hey, hold on. I'm trying to get my phone working. There we go. Hey, man, what's up?
Hey.
How you doing, man? Lincoln.
Lefty, what's up?
It's
How you
Lefty,
doing?
man. Hold on, let me get your picture. I got a picture of you somewhere. Here it is. Yeah, I got you with the hoodie on. I can only find one picture of you that was pretty good. I just grabbed one.
The hoodie, that's classic me. That's fine.
There you go. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm sitting here on the couch medicating actually right now.
Me too. I'll join
Set
you.
myself up for nighttime. It's nighttime time.
Yes, sir. I'm smoking some. I don't even know what this is called. It's good though.
I got some G Perps from
Nice.
Yeah, that's pretty good. It's nice little mellow berry flavors, you know. It's pretty good. If you're into that kind of taste.
I like the fruity. Absolutely. 100%, man.
Berries. I'm starting to find out the more hoppy tastes are pretty good. They have a lot more flavors. And there's some lemons in there too. There's a couple lemon strains that are pretty good.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, how are you doing since yesterday?
Yeah, I called to debrief with you about the meeting. What was your feelings on that whole meeting? I mean, there's a lot to man, there's a lot going on.
I felt like it was receptive. I felt like it was very, very, very receptive. More receptive than it has been. I also think it was maybe a PR stunt because they also knew that the paper was there. Because each one of them was on record the very first time Keith and I were there saying that Orator, one of them, was like, if I'm on the board and as long as I'm here, marijuana will never be in Wall Township.
Oh, he said that?
And now, yes, he has. If you go back and listen to the first, I think it was the very first one that Keith and I went to, he says it's kind of muffled, but he definitely says it. A couple of them have kind of expressed their feelings and said that, people in the town don't want it and everything else. Well, I mean, people in the town, regardless, wouldn't have voted for the question on the back of the ballot if it wasn't, if it was there. They wouldn't have, said yes on the question, if they didn't want to vote for it. They definitely would have left it blank or said no. And majority would have won in that aspect. So they're not respecting it. But it's kind of funny how last night we were in the meeting and Orator saying, I like the benefits of medical marijuana. That's totally fine. He kind of said that the very first meeting too, but he still alluded to the point where he lives in the town. He doesn't want it coming over his fence. He doesn't care. He doesn't want marijuana in the town. So I don't know where his stance is and why he's flipped the script so quickly. Like I said, I feel like it's a PR stuff, but it is what it is, and Keith and I are going to just keep pushing on. We're just going to keep working with them and everything. Like I'm not in this to make millions of dollars. Like I have an elderly mother. My father passed away 6 years ago. I want to be able to take care of my family. Like that's honestly it. Like my brother does not live at home anymore. He lives all the way up north. We can't really see him right now. COVID has been terrible, all this type of stuff. So like if I could set up, some sort of medical dispensary in town as being a local, because no town around or no county has actually had any sort of a local person start something up like that, and I feel like that's what it should be, instead of one of these MSOs that are out here raking millions of dollars in, giving moldy medicine and whatever and saying, oh, here's 20% or, off your next batch of flour, let's keep pushing. No, that's not acceptable. It's not absolutely acceptable, except for somebody who's going to be there, take some time, take some care into it. I want to be a nonprofit organization and give back to the disabled community and help the community, update things that they cannot afford. Wheelchair access, hybrid sessions, things like that they are claiming that's too costly or whatever have you, things that the town should have and should, get. I remember when I was a kid, we had this kid, and his name was John Berg, and he's passed on too. My friend Pete who went to school with him as well. He was wheelchair bound. He could not get up. He could not get up. He was my best friend's best friend. He was around. We hung around. I knew the kid. I went to school with him and everything, and he could not stand it. He needed wheelchair access, and our school was not really fully set up like that for that. Yes, we did have low sloped areas where you could get up and all that stuff, but full on access for the bathroom and that type of stuff that should be in every sort of setting of schooling or anything like that, and it's not. My brother was neglected when he got to school and was shunned out. We don't do anything for the mentally disabled people who don't have the type of functions that that we all quote unquote have. There's different types of functionality between humans, and I feel like cannabis would have benefited my brother, but unfortunately cigarettes benefited my brother, and we all know the causes of cigarettes, like what cigarettes do. It's not a pretty thing, and that's kind of my reality of what I live. Like, I'm trying to do this to keep my family and get my family whole. Like, I want to be able to provide back to the community, but at least be able to get my brother out of the system that I feel is broken. Like, Wall Township doesn't have any services that provide for mentally disabled people after high school. They get to stay in high school until they're 21, and then that is it. They are left as a quote-unquote burden onto their family, which I feel isn't right. There's medical necessities that they need. My brother needed some skin grafts and different things. He has other, things like, mental stuff that he has to, go through, and he has to have a counselor and everything like that. That all does cost money. The town obviously doesn't have that, but they do have $1.25 million to have to pay to a man named Brandon Jacobs for anti-Semitic marks. And they think that the town is great and it's not racist, but unfortunately, the papers and things do not lie. These facts are out there. That's why I was trying to lay it out to them. Like, look, this is the narrative that people can find and will find. And I'm trying to spread it out there because I want to be able to be that voice of reason and change it,
So they paid money to some guy for what?
Yeah, Sean Keane was a part of the he was the attorney for the township that basically allowed this man $1.25 million for anti-Semitic marks from township workers. He was the township. I think he was like a township, janitor or whatever have you. And they were using racist undertones and things like that to refer to him. And this man is just a human being trying to do his job, working for a township in a place that he, loved. But yet people are saying that, no, this town isn't like that. And they yelled at me the last time I even implicated that there was any sort of racial tones or anything like that. They said that I was a coward and I left. No. I was doing responsible things as a medical patient and being a responsible person, just period, But I'm never going to leave one of those meetings again. That's why I stood there and sat there with the state and made sure I looked them all in their faces. They didn't even want to respond to anything I had to say. They responded to Keith. They responded to the rest of you guys, But any of the information that I had to say, they did not respond to. And Sean Keane didn't respond to any of the papers or anything like that. Dealing with the fact that there has been anti-Semitism and racist rhetoric between officers and county clerks. So like, everything that they've said is contradictory. It's all contradictory. They didn't even want to allude to anything because, like I said, the paper was there.
Which paper was there?
That was the Co-Star.
Wasn't there two?
The Co-Star and Hetty, yes.
Oh, Hetty was there.
Hetty was there, yes. Yes, Keith has been doing his resources. I'm not typically on Facebook like that. I have my own gripes about Facebook. It's kind of a cesspool of just anger and emotion and stuff. But this activism, honestly, has been the one thing that's kind of kept me around on Facebook, just to look for this, anything that's going on in the marijuana space or the cannabis space, rather.
That's the only thing good about Facebook. The only good thing is the activism. Otherwise, it's just garbage.
It's garbage. Absolutely.
Shit talkers and just a lot of haters and whatever,
100%. But the cannabis community is pretty much, I see little gripes here and there, but for the most part, like, people like each other.
Oh, yeah.
People respect each other. They talk to each other. You know, there's conversations that happen. Unlike these townships, they don't want to have those conversations.
No.
With either their citizens or whatever have you. It was shown that, yesterday, they were saying, there's no reason to go back to hybrid sessions, and they gave a really long explanation to Savvy. Because she was sitting next to me and she's like, are they going to answer me? I was like, it's not a Q&A. It's not a back and forth. So this is your long explanation. And they're just sitting there and explaining why they don't have hybrid sessions. Well, people that are wheelchair bound and can't get out of bed, and my mother's elderly. I would not want my mother to get her walker out of her house. This is what she has to do. She has to get the walker out of the house, make her way to the front door, make her way to the steps, then leave that walker, walk down the path to the car, get into the car, drive over to the facility, which is about 10, 15 minutes away, then get into the trunk of her van, lift that up, get the walker out of that, and walk herself into the inside of this building, which doesn't have the greatest wheelchair access. It's pretty far away, as you can tell. When you pull up, you are significant distance away from where we should technically be. So for somebody who's elderly, my mother's 78 years old, to walk the distance, as you know where we were, to walk that distance there, sit down, and then walk back, that's a lot for somebody like that. So it is disrespectful. It is very disrespectful not to have hybrid sessions. And if there are townships, which we just saw tonight, Montgomery, they have hybrid sessions. There should be no reason why, video sessions can't be allowed for disabled people or elderly people or veterans or, people just don't want to leave the house. Or maybe, guess what? Start getting into the younger crowd and the younger generation. Why? You don't want to involve them for what reason? They're all on social media. They're all with their phones and their tablets and computers to their face. Like, everybody's looking at a screen. So why not do it that way? So this way you can get more people involved. The CRC board is doing that. The CRC board is listening to people, listening to experts. Wall Township doesn't even have an expert board. Like, Toms River has an expert cannabis board that meets with them regularly. Like, this, I don't understand why it's just hard for them to just figure out a comprehensive plan and say, all right, look, this is what we want to have. They haven't said anything of what they are looking for. Maybe that's an angle that we need to go to next time. What are you looking for in a cannabis business if you were to allow one here in town? What would you want? What are the stipulations that you would want? They would probably be like, oh, we have to get back to you next meeting, and just delay that as much as they possibly can. It's just a game, and I'm willing to sit here and play it. Like, I'm young, so one way or another, either I'm gonna get your seat, or you're gonna end up giving it up, one way or another.
Yeah, just run for their seat, man.
You notice that there's no person of color on that board. And Montgomery, I noticed that there was. And that is surprising, because most of the boards and places that I've seen, there hasn't been.
Yeah, not down the shore. Not really.
No. And that's what I think I'm going to allude to the CRC board next time, that it's an unfair advantage, too, because there is no representation on any of the township committees. There really isn't. Unless you're in certain areas.
What did you tell the CRC board the other day?
I told them that I had a problem at Rise, that I went there and I was told that I could not get my medicine because my New Jersey driver's license was out of date. So, in turn, the security guard said, because your New Jersey driver's license is out of date and you do have a valid medical license, I need another form of valid ID for you to come inside, because this is your first time purchasing. There should not be some sort of card wall to get cannabis. There shouldn't be any sort of wall to get your medicine. What? So I asked him, I was like, how does that make any sense? He said to me that it was a part of the rules, and that's just how they had to do it, because that would be their license. Okay, so when I talked to the CRC board, That's not the indication that they had told me. It's basically that my card is to be used to purchase said cannabis. I was not allowed to do that. I had to go all the way to Sunleaf and purchase my cannabis. That's ridiculous. That's over 40 minutes away from Paramus, New Jersey. I didn't drive myself. I wouldn't be as aggravated. I'd be a little aggravated, but I wouldn't be as aggravated if I drove myself. But I was asking somebody to drive out of their way to get me medicine after we could have just conveniently got medicine in one spot. And then my other gripe was that there's $1 million paywall to even break into the cannabis industry as a regular layman. And then I was alluded to that there's another $15 million on top of that in liquid assets. In the African American community, you are not going to find that. You're not going to find that. It's going to be even hard to get a coalition of African Americans together to entrust each other to even say, you know what, let's put all this money together and try to build a business. You're going to find a couple of them out there. There are a couple. I can't say that there isn't. There's definitely a couple out in New Jersey. But I'm going to say this, like in the areas that I'm from, probably not. Probably not. It's few and far between. Wall Township has a demographic of 3.3% of African American people. That 3.3% will not be able to pool $1.25 million together or whatever have you, and then another 15 million in assets. Like, how would they be able to do that to become part of the legal market that has, you know, everybody's saying it's part of social justice and everything like that, but if you look at the demographic of companies that are in, you know, here in New Jersey, it's not the same. It's really not the same. It's actually hurting those who were disproportionately arrested and, you know, affected by that, you know, by, you know, their cannabis use or whatever happened, you know. So it's all a numbers game. It's all who has the biggest pockets. And unfortunately, with the African American community not making up nearly that much percentage here in Jersey, don't have the type of access to capital. So there needs to be programs that are clearly set up for people that can, you know, have access to tax capital. It's basically a wraparound service, which gives you services to like lawyers, services to any sort of technical help that you would possibly need for seed to sale, whatever have you. And then you have, you know, other supports that you could get that would help you, you know, alleviate any sort of like tax burdens or anything like that. You know, let's say that you do have like a pandemic situation. There's one social equity programmed dispensary in Massachusetts I just learned about, and they ended up having to lay off employees, close down because they didn't have access to federal aid to help them stay open because marijuana remains federally illegal. So they luckily did have enough overhead to keep themselves going on before everything opened up. But unfortunately, like, they still had to lay off a good number of their staff. That hurts the industry, and that makes our, you know, numbers look bad. But at the same time, you know, a Curaleaf or an Acreage Holding or a GTI could afford that. You know, they can afford giving you 20% off of an eighth and just keep it moving off of a moldy eighth. You know, they can do that. It's not like I hate the MSOs here because, as you know, as you heard, I purchased my flower from them. But if I were to really, really want to spend my money, I would want to spend it locally. I would want to spend it with people who are growing up in the Garden State. Like, it's the Garden State. I feel like that's for a reason. I don't feel like it's just because, you know, we were just gardening pretty flowers. I feel like we were gardening other flowers besides that before it got illegal, you know?
We grow the best corn. We grow the best tomatoes.
Probably grew the best weed.
I'm sure, yeah, I'm sure back in the day we had the best hemp.
For sure.
Keith said that he smoked just as much weed as you did growing up, but you got in trouble and pulled over like 3 times as much as him.
If that.
4, 5, 6,
maybe
8 times.
something like that. I don't know. My last cannabis charge in Wall Township, I think, was in 2017.
Oh.
So it wasn't that.
Oh.
It wasn't that far away. It was pretty recent.
What happened? How'd they
So-
get? Oh man.
How'd they get me? How did they get me?
That time.
It was the old reach over the seat to grab my sunglasses. That's what stopped me. That's what happened. The officer had seen me reaching around my seat to go and grab my sunglasses.
That's illegal?
And yeah, apparently it's illegal. And he pulled me over and he said, "Well, what are you reaching for back there?" And I said, "My sunglasses, they're in my hand right now, officer." And he said, "Oh, okay, well, what's that?" I did have a chillum inside my car. I did.
Damn.
You know, it was there. I can't deny it. I did have a chillum. And that was it, you know. He had to get me. He was like, "Oh, you know, they're going to legalize it or something, so it should be fine."
Yeah, I'm gonna help you.
$1,500 later.
Yeah, I'm gonna help you. I like when they say that. I'm gonna help you out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, that got the whole trope to, "Oh, I'm going to help you out. Do you know anybody in town? Anybody that sells drugs?" You know, the whole thing. They try to be your best friend. I wanted to say, you know, I've been arrested by you guys so many times that none of you even bothered to help me. One of your officers helped destroy my record. So I don't know if I really trust you.
Wow.
Yeah. They're uneasy about any sort of conversation about how their police actually police there. Okay, we did have a rally last year with 200 people and whatever have you, and Oranger claims that some information was unfounded, and okay, that's fine, but that doesn't mean that everybody's fucking experience is completely null and void, and it doesn't matter. Like, I lived there my entire life. My brothers are white. I have 4 white brothers and an African-American brother. Like, I am the youngest of 6. My 4 white brothers never got arrested for weed. My African-American brother moved the hell away. He does not live here. And I continuously got arrested for weed. Even in the cars with my friends, all of that stuff. It was always me getting pulled out of the car, pulled to the back of the car, getting separated from the person in the car. Even down here in Forked River, I had Toms River PD pull me over in Forked River on Route 9. They drove all the way from Route 37, ShopRite, all the way to Forked River. How is their narcotics agency able to even do that? They pulled me over on the way home and they said, "Oh, you know, what were you doing over there?" And I alluded to them exactly what was going on. They didn't believe me, pulled my girlfriend out of the car and basically kept me separate and read me my Miranda rights. But did not place me under arrest because they found out that I was giving my coworker cigarettes. So you mean to tell me you threw me through all of that bullshit, made my PTSD and all of that stuff come around and everything, and just like shoot all of my stuff, like just make the whole night just go crazy because you thought that I was selling some sort of drug, and you clearly didn't find any of that. That video is on my Facebook too, if you ever want to see it.
Damn. I'm sorry you went through that shit, man. That's just ridiculous.
It's a stigma that needs to change. And all these towns that aren't allowing are continuing that story. They're just not saying. There's a time and a place when you spend, like, in the skin that I have. There's a time and a place where you kind of realize that certain people in certain light learn how to say things in certain ways to allude to something, but not have to flat out say it. You know, it can be very. I don't know how to textualize it into words.
Well, when they talk about cannabis dispensaries, they talk about crime coming and people with squeegees and.
Yes. Oh, like my town down here in Forked River. I already sent you the article.
Oh.
MS-13 gangsters.
Yeah.
It is racist rhetoric. This is what they are built. He flat out said it. A lot of these towns are just saying, no, we're waiting for their ruling and all that. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're saying it because you don't want certain types of people making their business inside your towns. That's what you're saying. That's exactly the message that you're saying. That's what all of us are hearing. If not, you would at least allow it. Because if you look at the top fucking MSOs here in New Jersey, most of the CEOs and most of the people who own the companies are white. There are no African-American owned companies like that here. We're trying. We're 100% trying, but there isn't. Even in Massachusetts, there is one that was formed from the social equity program, like I was talking about before. One. In the entire state of Massachusetts. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That's absolutely ridiculous. And this is of last year. This is information I got of last year. I don't know if you've heard of the Patriot Act, but it's a show on Netflix, and it talks about a lot of various information and a lot of various things that go on within the world, different countries, whatever have you. And they had one segment on cannabis, and it literally writes out exactly what is going on right now as of 2021, basically. It was all, information from 2020, but it's essentially the same thing now. I don't think it's pretty much changed in 365 days from an airing.
Are you able to get a cannabis license?
I do not know. I do not have access to the $1 million. Okay,
if you had the funds,
you send the application. If I did have the funds, I want to. I don't know. I don't know with expungements and stuff. I need all of that to come through.
Right. That's happening. That's happening now. A lot of my friends are asking about that because they can't get into the industry because of these felonies that they have for selling weed. These are legacy dealers.
I don't have any felonies on my record. All of my stuff has been low-level offenses. Every single offense I have had has been low-level.
And I don't think that matters, right?
It shouldn't.
It shouldn't, right? It shouldn't.
I'm not in the cannabis space, and I've been putting my my application out there for a very long time. So nobody's bitten. Nobody's even asked me to talk. And, I've had a couple of blood tenders, ask about my resume and all that stuff. But no takers, no biters. No, can't even get in the industry. So the only way I'm going to get industry now is to build my own, and that's what I'm trying to do.
You should talk to Hugh.
That's what I want to do.
Talk to Hugh Giordano. He might be able to help you.
I did meet Hugh. I met down here in Forked River.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
He was at the council meeting. It was great. It was great to see him. It was great. It was a good conversation. It was awesome.
Yeah, he might be able to find you an interview or something because he's his UFCW is everywhere,
Okay.
Good stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
I know somebody looking for a trimmer. If you're looking for some trim work.
Really?
Private work. You have to DM me on that one, though.
Definitely.
It was fun dabbing with you guys last night. I had a good time.
Oh yeah, hell yeah! Definitely was a good time. It was a nice little riff, nice little session we had. I thought there was some good ideas, so I looked up the rules of a block party, and it doesn't really stipulate too much. Besides, you gotta let the township know what you're doing, and that's it.
Really?
It doesn't say that you can't do anything. It just says no loud music past a certain time. It's basically it. Just need to get a signed petition, like I was saying, Keith and I would probably just go around the neighborhood and go to a certain amount of houses, because we're pretty well known within our community. like in our town, our section of town, the presidential section of Wall. I don't live there anymore, but I still call it my side of the town because my mother still lives there. So it's my side of the town still. You know what I mean? And, you know, we have good standing with a lot of the neighbors. And I'm telling you right now, there is an officer that lives on the block too. And I honestly think that Keith and I should do a little bit of canvassing, see if we can get petitions of people saying yes or no if they would approve of having a block party for a couple of hours, and see if anybody would allow us to, you know, use their driveway and or their street for parking. This way it's organized, you know, let them know if they wanted to come down and see what we're doing, they could learn some things, get some educational people to come down, you know, and this way, you know, people can start meeting vendors and or services within New Jersey, or people who are trying to get new stuff, you know, and then this way we could take it to other towns. You know, I think that's a really, really good idea. There's this one spot in Wall that I was not honestly even thinking of, that I have a friend that owns it, and I'm thinking of asking her and seeing if we could hold it there. It's huge. It's a gigantic place. It's quiet. We could get bands. We could have a whole bunch of speakers. We could have, you know, committee members, people who are either local or from surrounding towns that want to at least talk to people that are there, whatever, and just the whole, like, a big thing. Definitely could do it. And it would be perfect. It would absolutely be perfect. It's got a nice little bar area where we could set up a little station for all adults to at least medicate if they wanted to while they're there, whatever have you. It's literally the perfect setting.
That sounds awesome.
So I'm gonna make some phone calls and see if I can get her to say, you know, yeah, that would be kind of cool, as long as it's private and quiet, you know. And then I try to invite some of the vendors and some of the people in the community and see if they would want to come down. And, you know, maybe invite some of their family members and just be like, look, this is just an informative session just to let you guys know this is what cannabis is going to be like.
Yeah, we're having the Lake and Bake in a few weeks.
I saw that. I literally saw that just before I got on with you, and I was like, oh, that sounds really, really dope.
Yeah, I
that
can't
sounds
wait.
really awesome.
So we have permission to smoke cannabis, and we're gonna have an informational area, petition signing area, voter registration. We're gonna have music. We're gonna have. It's just gonna be amazing. I'm so excited.
Excellent. That's literally sounds like a fun time. I hopefully will be able to make it. I do not know what my situation will be at that time, but I'm really hoping I'll be able to make it.
Will you be at Atlantic City?
Yes.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good one too. We'll be there at the New Jersey Cannabis Festival at the Showboat.
Okay. Yes. There's a morning show that I follow, a podcast morning show, 7:10 morning show. I follow them, and I don't, just out of nowhere, I don't know, I just wanted to find a cannabis news spot or whatever, and they have always good topics. Every new thing that comes out about cannabis, you know, they're always on it, so it's kind of good. And they're actually going to be down there. They're part of, they're working with the Zix group that is holding the event. Nice.
I want to interview them because we're podcasting too. So I want to interview everybody. So I'm going to interview you again.
Yeah.
We're gonna I want to smoke you up too, bro.
Oh yeah, definitely. Hell yeah, 100%.
I'm looking forward.
If Nurse Khalid and Pete come down, I'll make sure they have leave with some Jersey goodies. You know.
Oh yeah, dude. We're going to have joint rolling contest. I think we're going to have giveaways, giveaway joints. We're giving away weed. It's going to be awesome. Yeah, man.
Okay. You guys will meet my partner in crime. She's a good woman. She's a good woman. She could dab me under the table, though. Oh, my God.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's dangerous, man. She's a dabbing queen. I have to give it to her.
Wow.
I'm the flower king. She's the dabbing queen. That's just how it is.
Yeah. I love the dabs myself. But you know what I noticed? When I do strictly dabs, it doesn't help my pain. I need the flower for the full spectrum, because I think the extracts, I'm losing some of the other cannabinoids I need.
You're 100% correct in that. Plant matter is going to kind of always trump that.
Yeah. Live resin.
Just because
I need live resin. Yeah.
I mean, full spectrum, you could find some full spectrum that kind of gives you the same effects as flower, though, or that will be similar. So it's not all just like, it's just a certain type of extraction method that's used for the concentrate that ends up, giving you the losing out on effects like BHO. It's certain sugars and lipids and stuff that's extracted and pulled out or whatever have you. That's what causes BHO, and then you have the sugars and your earwaxes, your pull and snap, all that type of stuff.
Yeah, I noticed through trial and error that I need more flour in my life, because I can't just do wax only. I tried it and it doesn't work. I have pain, a lot of pain.
Oh yeah, I tell my girlfriend all the time. I'm like, look, it's great to be smoking waxes, but you have to have the flour in there. You have to.
Just a little.
It's like flour is like having a vitamin.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yes.
That's exactly what it's like. In order for it to work, you got to consistently keep doing it.
Yeah, the oil should be a breakthrough, like breakthrough meds for me.
Right. This is how I treat oil. I treat oil as, all right, let's say you're coming down from a hard day's worth of work, whatever have you, outside, whatever your day is. That's the setup. Oil's kind of to set your body up to take in the rest of the cannabinoids from flower. So that's usually what I'll do is I'll come home, I'll hit a dab real quick. And then after that, it's just strictly flower. I'm rolling a joint. I'm smoking a bong when I need to smoke a bong. Then right when it's time to eat, I'm smoking my eating joint. And then it's going to be bedtime. So the bedtime bong or joint comes up soon. And then, it's time to wind down. And that's when I pass out and go to bed.
Rise up and repeat.
Yeah, absolutely. Gotta have the sativa in the morning,
Love it.
I like me some lemons in the morning. That's my
Yeah.
favorite.
Citrus is like my favorite. Orange or lemon or, yeah, man.
So you're a tangy liker. You like tangies.
Sure do.
Okay, that's fair. I'm not huge in the tangies. I'm more of the limonines, the limonals.
Oh. Okay, yeah. I like anything fruity. I love all the fruity stuff. And I grew up smoking skunky stuff my whole life, so I love skunky stuff, but I like the fruity stuff now for taste.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Definitely kind of gives you like this, I don't know, it kind of gives you this like laid back feeling, It's just like, I don't know, there's this strain called Summer Breeze that I got from Columbia Care. And as I was smoking, I was like, you know what? This kind of makes me feel like I'm just chilling on the back porch.
Makes me feel fine.
Toes in the sand, just chilling.
That's a song, man.
Definitely.
You got to play the song when you smoke that weed. That's great. Makes me feel fine.
Oh, yeah. Summer Breeze definitely makes me feel fine.
So I'm sitting here dabbing. I'm not taking my advice. All right, I'm going to find some flour. Hold on. I have flour somewhere. Let's see. I got to have some flour here. Everybody join me with some flour. Whoever's out there listening. You too, Lincoln. Let's smoke some flour. All right, here we go. I don't know what this is. Oh, there's my kitten. I have a little kitten here. He's so cute. Hi, Mo. Oh, he's going in the other room. Hold on. Take over the show. Hold on. Take over the show. Lincoln, you're the host. I'll be right back. I love when I do this to people. Take over. Lincoln, ready, go.
Okay. All right, man. Yeah, so the cannabis industry needs to at least be fair here in Jersey. It needs to have equal players, 100%. I just feel like, all these towns are going to end up opting in because they're going to end up seeing the sensible, policies and how the CRC has been doing their due diligence, and it's not going to be a free-for-all, and cartels are going to be coming in and destroying the fabric of every single one of these towns. Like, no. Living is going to be exactly the same. Teenage use is going to probably be exactly the same, maybe take a little bit of a nosedive. Like, there is going to be no... I don't understand what they think is going to end up happening after legalization. Like, a lot of these towns, I feel, are just afraid of what the potential could possibly be. I feel like they think that a bunch of crazy people are going to come in, they're going to start rioting and throwing stuff and throwing things through walls and destroying everything, and property values are going to go down, and people are going to get lazy and not cut their grass and not take care of their houses, and they're going to start to no, that's not what's going to happen. A lot of people use cannabis to help them get those things done. A lot of people use cannabis to help them go to sleep. A lot of people use cannabis to forget painful, traumatizing memories. A lot of people use cannabis just for fun. There shouldn't be any sort of stigma on a plant. It's like having stigma on a rose. It's literally the same thing. It is a plant that comes from the ground. And you're going to say, no, it's illegal. It's illegal to smell roses now. Now you can't smell roses. People are going to say that's stupid. Why do you think people are saying cannabis reform and cannabis law and all that stuff needs to happen? Because they figured, you know what? It's stupid. It's really stupid. It should be an equal and fair playing ground, 100%. Sorry, I'm chewing on Twizzler. I got high and I'm now hungry. See? Happy, hungry, soon I'm going to be sleepy. But
I'm trying to condition my cat. Well, he's a kitten. And I just showed him on camera. He's a little baby. He's been hiding all day. He just came out and it was about to go down the hallway, so I grabbed him. So he's in my lap right now and trying to calm him down. He's very skittish right now because he's scared.
Yeah. He'll be like that for like the first 2 weeks, and then after that, he'll be acclimated. He'll be running around trying to batch stuff. Climb down things you don't want him to climb on. Hey, bud. What are you doing, buddy? I have a German Shepherd Golden Retriever mix. He's on my Facebook. He's my profile picture. And then I have 2 Cocker Poodles.
I saw that.
Yeah, they're good dogs. They are very good dogs.
Hello.
I know. Why don't you go lay in the bedroom?
This is no. Hello. Oh. I feel bad. He's a little nervous. Mo. But he was laying on me before.
How long ago did you get him?
Oh, about 3 days, 4 days.
Okay, wow. Definitely freshy.
Yeah. Hey, Mo. How you doing, buddy? How you doing, buddy?
Oh, I've had this back spasm all day, and it's starting to break up.
Dude, I have those every day. They're the worst.
I get them periodically. I've had a disc replacement from being in a car accident, and I only get them every once in a while. And it was weird today because I was just walking. I don't even know what I did, what I turned, how I turned, whatever I did. But as I was walking, I just felt it coming on, and now it's just a giant knot. But it's starting to finally like loosen up and not be as much of a problem, which is nice. I'll be able to actually sleep comfortably tonight. So I thought it was because I needed to stretch my head and like decompress my spine a little bit and decompress the vertebrae, but no, it wasn't that. It was just a complete muscle spasm. I'm starting to feel a little bit better. It's nice.
So wait, you have an artificial disc?
I do. I have an artificial disc and a titanium plate. Yes.
What type of artificial disc do you have?
I'm not entirely sure. I didn't really ask them. All I know is that they put a titanium plate in the back, and then they put it's essentially, it mimics the disc. So it's got like the centerpiece where it's supposed to be able to rotate or whatever have you. It's supposed to turn. I ended up breaking my C5, C6.
Oh.
So it's a little bit higher in the neck. I actually do not know the type that they put in.
I have an artificial disc, L4, L5. I got a Pro disc, but it froze. My bone grew over the disc, so it froze in place, so it doesn't work like an artificial disc. It's just a fusion now.
That's terrible. That completely destroys motion.
Right.
That's why the doctors wanted to do the disc replacements, because they wanted to preserve motion. They felt that I was too young to have a fusion, but they felt like later on I would probably need a fusion. But I don't know. Maybe I should have gotten a fusion with the amount of pain that I'm experiencing and going through, unfortunately.
Yeah, dude.
I'm not sure.
I got a L4, I got L4, L5, L5S1. I got a fusion, and then I got a 2-level cervical fusion. And so yeah, I feel your pain, bro. I can definitely say I feel your pain because I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
My whole day is spent shaving pain points.
That sucks.
Well, you start in the shower. I do yoga in the shower. I do like a yoga pose, like a cat. I think it's a cat or a dog, where your elbows and knees on the floor, and then you let the hot water on your back, and that's how I start my day. If I don't do that, well, that's a half a point right there, you know? It's helpful. It sounds crazy, but it's really helpful. Put that hot water on your back, do some yoga, and it's good stuff, man.
Yeah, I've been learning some yoga poses as I came to being injured and coming out of surgery and all that stuff. I kind of learned to do some new stretching. Before 2020 of last year, I wasn't really too mobile. And that's kind of, there was like a yoga class that they were doing virtually on YouTube or whatever for 420. And I started doing it, and I kind of been letting some poses stick with it, and it's honestly been helping. It's definitely been helping.
Yeah, it's a great stretch for me. Because I get spasms just like that. I get really bad spasms. I get sciatic pain. I got neuropathy in my hands and my arms. It's just really crazy.
Yeah, that's bad. Neuropathy in the hands and in the arms. That's definitely no fun.
Nah.
It's definitely no fun. I could honestly, I could not imagine. I really honestly could not imagine how much pain that is. Just alone, because I haven't been the type of person to really be in any sort of pain or anything like that. I really haven't. This car accident literally is like the first thing that's kind of led me to learn about my mortality because I was very abusive to my body when I was a kid, but I never got injured ever on anything. I was a skateboarder at a young age. I'm still kind of a skateboarder, but I haven't been able to skate since the injury because I'm just kind of scared if I fall that, you know, I could do something completely bad and twist my neck or like fall on my head really bad or something. So my board sits behind my door getting dust and cobwebs. It's sad.
Dang. Now you get there. You never know. Because, you know, you can rehab and get yourself stronger. That's what I need to do.
I do rehab 2 times a week, so that definitely seems to help too with some of the spasms and the pain that I'll have during the week. But then there's some weeks that it just does not do anything for me. You know, it's like a hit or miss, and kind of sucks. But I guess that's the whole point of recovery and stuff. It's I never thought that it would take me this long to bounce back. You know.
Oh, man. Yeah, I go for acupuncture. I go for cupping, massage, all that.
Oh, well, yeah. I haven't done the acupuncture, but I've definitely done the cups. I've definitely done the whole massage, the stim therapy, the heat therapy, the whole thing.
Yeah, they have heat. They have the cold cryo. They have track. Well, you can't do traction anymore because you have hardware.
Yeah.
But I used to do traction before I had hardware. I did traction.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man. Wow. Another Spiny. Fellow Spiny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. Spiny McGee over here. That's right. Well, a little homage to Janice job.
Well, thanks for calling in, or thanks for talking to us.
No, thank you
I
for
appreciate
calling
it.
me.
Yeah.
And thank you for coming down and, you know, speaking up and all that stuff. You know, when I met you, you know, with Betty and all that stuff, I was like, yeah, this guy is definitely going to be somebody I could, you know, definitely get along with.
Yeah, that was
100%.
that was fun down there. I really like that whole area. I hope that works out. I just pray it works.
It's a great idea. It's needed. It's perfect. It's beautiful. It's grand. It's something New Jersey has needed for a long time, and it has so much potential to do something so great.
Yeah, it's such an amazing idea. I wanted to will it into fruition. I want to make it happen.
Oh yeah, that's what I've been doing my due diligence. I've definitely been every morning. That's the first thing like this is gonna happen. It's the first thing I think is gonna happen. One of these days, I'm gonna get a phone call and it's happening.
Yeah, because when you talk about helping cancer patients and helping people that don't have money and that are sick and dying and just giving them free medicine and growing them free medicine, hey, come on, man. We should be doing that anyway. Yeah, we should all be doing that. Oh, bro, thank you so much, man. Let's talk again soon. And if not, I'll see you on Thursday, hopefully.
100%.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, hopefully. Definitely. Fingers crossed.
All right, dude. Thanks so much, man.
All right, Lefty. Have a good one.
You too. See ya. Oh, come here, you little cutie pie. Hello, my little baby. Hello, my little baby. Hello, my little baby. Oh, I got him. This is my other one. Oh, you can't see. You can't even see him. How am I going to fix this? He's going to run if I don't. Oh. I want you to see this guy. This is Foof. This is Foofy. He's nervous too. He's only been here a couple of days. Hi, Foofy. Hi, Foof. Hi, Foofy. Come on, baby. What's the matter? He's still scared. You want to speak into the microphone, Foof? Oh, Foofy. What's the matter, honey? Hello. What a sweetheart. Hi, Foof. Hi, Foof. Hello, buddy. Hello, buddy. Hello, buddy. Yeah, this is the foopster. Alright, so. Foofy, stay with me. I want to thank sativacross.org. CMMNJ.org. Magical Butter. UFCW Local 152. JacksonStorms.com. Arlo Glass. Good boy. OprahMachine.com. Pure Puff Lifestyle Shop. Pure Puff. Foo-foo. Foo-foo. Hi, Foo-foo. Hello, buddy. Hello, buddy. Hello, buddy. Oh, good boy. Aw. You're so cute, Poofy. He's just like very skittish. He's only been here like 3 days, so it's gonna take a while. You ready to get down? You ready to get down? Hmm? You wanna do the list with me? You wanna do the list? Foo-foo? List with me, Foo-foo. Come on. Come here. Come here, honey. Come here, honey. Let's do the list. Sorry, I'm holding the cat. So we're going to do this old school. No pics. Cheryl Miller. Sabina Rose. Diane. Gracie. Cindy May. Marie. Jack. Joan Ford. Randy Robertson. Polly Connolly. Bill Buckman. Chad. Jeremy. Colette. Matt. Russ Perry. Roger Barber. Jay Oleto. Ella Bagelman. Hattie Koshel. Jackie Rickert. Anthony. Jake. Armando. Armando. Felicia. Lynn. Dan. Sean. Joyce. Brian. Thorne. Terry. Charlotte. Cher. Jaybird. Michael. Marley.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
You can't hear me?
Yes, I can, but I can also hear myself. Hold on.
Wait, hold on.
No, that was my fault.
Can
No,
you
it's not. It's your fault.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, me, and me.
Oh, wow. Really? That's not good. I don't know why that is. How's that? Does that help? No.
It's only me that I hear echo of.
Oh, that is so weird.
I barely made that Montgomery meeting. I didn't think there was one.
I didn't either.
The mayor and council person Nina Singh were talking about keeping it hybrid and understanding. I guess I came on after you talked. I don't know. I'm assuming you mentioned it.
Yeah, you talked after that Susie lady who's like a Karen.
I caught like the tail end of her.
All these out-of-towners and all. Oh, you got to listen to her again. It was like, oh, she was too much. She was making me laugh.
How long did she go on for?
6 minutes. And she complained that we went on for longer than we were supposed to, and we're from out of town.
And our out-of-town agendas.
Yeah. And she's like, we need to balance the conversation out. Why don't we bring more people in from town that will balance the conversation out now?
Well, 63% of their town did vote for it.
And they said that they brought us in. The mayor called us to bring us in here, like we're paid by the mayor or something. Give me a break.
A lot of people can't imagine that you're doing something for greater good with no other motive.
Yeah.
Or cut me a check too. I don't know.
Yeah, cut me my check then. I'm taking all the abuse. I might as well get paid for it.
Even just the traveling and the time.
Well, I like the remote meetings. It saves us a lot of traveling time.
I think we need to get that taken care of on like a state level.
Well, the only way I could do that is going to the Union City meetings.
Well, the only way it was done was because the governor put it into effect. Maybe we just need to go stalk him. I don't understand what the difficulty is. It can be done with having one laptop present, right?
A phone, a smartphone. Even a
So
telephone.
how many laptops are in each municipality being used by people that supposedly can't figure out Zoom?
They could do a telephone call even. I mean, but we did Zoom for 14 months. So we all figured out Zoom in 14 months. So let's not go with that excuse that these towns are telling us. We don't do it anymore.
But they make it sound like such a hardship. It's so difficult.
Yeah, so much money. All this money we have to spend on Zoom. What do you mean? It's free. It's minimal. You got to be kidding me. Hi, Mo. Mo doesn't like when I get hyped up and yell, so I have to keep calm. I was yelling at the council the other night, and these cats were like, so I gotta keep it calm. I gotta be calm. I'm trying to get these cats to be calm, and I can't if I'm yelling.
Emotional control animal.
Oh my God, yes.
Instead of emotional support.
Oh, man. So I just wanted to call you as we finished the list. But yeah, that was crazy today. I'm glad you made it. And I'm glad you went after Susie or Barbecue Betty, whatever her name, Barbecue Susie, whatever her name is.
Did we have like a link and everything for that meeting tonight up?
No. I was just told about that meeting by, I think it was Jeff or somebody, or Hugh.
I got home and then I saw the live and then I couldn't find
There was
the
none.
Zoom info.
I didn't have time.
I was like struggling.
I had no
Yeah.
time. I'm like, oh wow, we're on a meeting already. I got home at 10 to 7, and I'm like, oh, I just jumped on the meeting. So there's no link, no nothing.
All right. Well, at least I didn't mess up.
But next time, I didn't even know there was a meeting tonight, but it worked out. It worked out perfectly because you went after her, and I wanted you to hammer her.
The mayor and that council person Singh, though, I would definitely keep press about the hybrid meetings. They both seemed really open to it. Did you still record the meeting after that or no?
Yeah, I recorded. And when you start talking about disabled vets, these Republicans, they're just like putty. They're like, oh, no, we love our vets. We love our vets. We'll do whatever we can for our vets. Oh, yeah? Well, give us virtual meetings. Give the vets the virtual meetings that they've been asking for so they can take part from their homes when they're disabled or sick or cancer.
They were both
whatever.
saying it is very true that there is still a lot of vulnerable people that either can't get vaccines or whatever, that can't come out.
Yeah.
And this isn't something that they would have even thought of like 14 months ago, and she wants to continue the conversation about it. It's like, awesome.
That's good. They should.
Yeah.
They absolutely should. And I think Murphy's doing something about it too. So.
Really?
I heard that Murphy. Well, who knows? They're on vacation, so who knows?
Well, if he did it and it was guidelines for meetings going forward to be hybrid, then they would have to. They wouldn't have a choice. And it is like, maybe I can like hit more of the serious reefer madness ones with you, like immune illness. I should not be going out, probably. You know? Is that a disability that they'll give me a Zoom link for?
No, there's no compassion. They flap their gums about compassion, but there is none. They're all full of shit. Excuse my...
But when they talk about the cost of it, think about how cost efficient it would be for them to consistently have a Zoom feed that you're able to auto-generate closed captioning. So if anyone's hearing impaired, that's covered. What do they pay for a sign language interpreter to come there for the meeting?
Right. Closed caption that. Boom. There you got two birds at one stone. There's your tax money. There's your tax savings that you're always looking for.
I don't understand why they don't have the closed captioning on. How they don't want to get...
It's not always totally accurate either, but it's pretty good. It's pretty darn good. You know what they're
Then they
saying.
could say something that the closed captioning is auto-generated. They're not in control of it. It is for people with disabilities, and it's as close as possible in the final minutes what needs to be correct, you know?
Right.
I think people would be grateful to have access to it and not nitpicking that it got some words wrong. And I think we need to talk about that too more, that people should be able to go out and make their own selections, because I think people just think, oh, delivery, it's such a convenience and you're like a queen and then somebody's bringing you your goods. No, they want to go in there and talk to someone and talk about their symptoms and talk about what bud is available and look at it. And to participate in their healthcare and not pick a thumbnail from probably a batch 3 grows ago of that strain, you know?
Smoke in the air for our friends on this list and your friends on your own personal list. Smoke in the air for the 10% of us that die every year 1 out of 10 cannabis patients die every year. Smoke in the air for those 11,000 people that are going to die this year. The picture up on the screen is our friend Jeff Oakes. He fought for years. This last years of his life he spent fighting for the rights of cannabis patients. He fought for compassion. He fought for wheelchair access. He fought for sick and dying people. Very inspiring to see. I'm honored to have worked beside him, and man, he was our best leader. He led by example. He led by his compassion and empathy for others while facing horrible consequences for welding. Welding, that they gave him a welding mask that didn't work, that wasn't certified to weld chrome or whatever he was welding, the chromium. All that stuff that's toxic in Bayonne, that's what killed Jeff. The chromium.
Have you ever seen that stuff vapor off when you're doing metal?
No. Well, really?
It's actually similar. What you're supposed to have is kind of similar to like a professional rescuer, like a fitted, like it fits your face. You're not really supposed to have facial hair so that it can make like a clean suction.
Wow.
Like the same for like tuberculosis masks. Because it's such a fine vapor and it doesn't really dissipate. It kind of stays concentrated. It doesn't really move around. It's like heavier than air.
Right. Oh, man.
Yeah, but those kind of metals, now people are wearing like fitted PPE masks. People talk about welding and they think just protect your eyes.
Yeah, I was ignorant to a lot of that stuff. You have to protect your lungs too. And your skin.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of people doing a lot of jobs, being exposed to things that they have no idea.
Yeah. Ever since the Industrial Revolution, it's been like constant growth and no care for the people. That's why we had to unionize, because these corporations were just killing us, literally killing us. And that's why we need corporations. That's why we need unions in the cannabis corporations. More unions to keep these guys in check. So the last on our list is Jeff Oakes. Hashtag they shall grow. Hashtag Jeff's Law. And we'll see you Thursday at the State House. Back at the State House. Thank you, Jamie.
Are you done?
Hashtag, I'm sorry. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. Did I miss a verse? I sure did. I'm gonna go back.
Missed a lot.
Zip, 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 zip. What else did I forget?
Fell with their faces to the foe.
Oh yeah, and Bake on the Lake is August 14th. And Atlantic City on the 21st.
And 22nd.
And 22nd. We'll be there, and that's going to be amazing. The Bake on the Lake, Lake and Bake
Of August.
Lake and Bake. August is going to be fire. I'm psyched. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to this one.
Well, don't make anybody go to Atlantic City this weekend. August 21st.
Yeah. Okay, here, let's do this the right way. All right. They went with songs to the battle. They were young, straight of limb, true of eye, steady and aglow. They were staunch to the end against odds uncounted. They fell with their faces to the foe. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and